Good evening, everybody. Ambulance transport rate and fee schedule. Right, so first of all, recommendation for the Finance and Governance Committee is to receive a presentation and public comments regarding proposed new fees for ambulance transport services. And second, to adopt a resolution for ambulance transportation fees entitled A Resolution of the City of Council of the City of Oxnard adopting the ambulance transportation fees. Further, that the City Council receive a presentation and public comments regarding proposed new fees for ambulance transport services. And second, to adopt a resolution for ambulance transport fees entitled A Resolution of the City of Council of the City of Oxnard adopting the ambulance transportation fees. So just to provide a little bit of background, emergency medical services are funded historically for the fire department. That has been funded through a mix of general fund and Measure O allocations to pay for first responder, emergency medical technicians or EMTs, and paramedic services. Separately, there are user fees that are generated. Generally, that comes from commercial and government insurance plans, and that pays for ambulance transport. And then there are some limited reimbursements for treat and no transport. As our staff report alluded to, historically, first responders don't have an ability to charge for their services on scene of emergency medical responses. Those fees generally come from ambulance transportation. So as a little bit of a backstory, commercial ambulance services started in the in the late 1940s and early 1950s, and there were a wide variety of services that slowly got improved over time, and then uniform standards really started to take hold, and cost recovery really started to take its present form back in the 1970s. But obviously there's been a lot of maturing of the EMS system, and that's led to additional cost recoveries and to where we are today. So as a general rule, fees for ambulance transport are paid for by the users of the service after the care is rendered and transport has been completed. And so as a general rule, we determine ambulance rates by evaluating several factors, including the payer mix, call volume, call density, and then the service level that's desired. So the payer mix is the ratio of insurance types held by the residents within a community. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but the reimbursement per transport varies greatly depending on what type of insurance and what that payer mix is made up of. But typically, commercial insurance have the highest rates of reimbursement. And so, as you can see here from this graphic, Oxnard has a very favorable payer mix where there won't be a need for any kind of government subsidies to cover the cost of our EMS system. And so the biggest piece there is, as you can see, the commercial insurance holders make up just over 19% of the transports here in the city of Oxnard. So the ambulance fee structure comprises of real and projected costs associated with the delivery of ambulance transportation and emergency medical services to the city of Oxnard. And so these costs are projected over 5 years, and they include not only our agreement with Falk Ambulance, but also our billing agreement with Whitman Enterprises, as well as administrative and supply expenditures that we will talk about in a little second. So as you can see here, the 5-year projection shows each of those years shows a net cost recovery for the delivery of EMS services. And this is going to allow us to enhance our EMS system and reinvest in the system to provide more services and better services, reduce response times, all those kinds of things we'll be able to do with that net positive cost recovery. So currently, the city's fire department suppression division general fund is already paying more than $400,000 of our emergency medical services that we deliver to our residents. And because it's attributable to EMS, it's thus shown in the ambulance program. So, and as the next slide will show, the administrative and supply line is further broken down in Table B. So you can see here, these are all the costs associated with the fire department operating the EMS system. And so it goes through each one of these. It does include the cost of equipment replacement and then capital replacements as well, which is that cap replacement set at 10%. And so here, the ambulance rates were developed utilizing the projected call volumes, the pay mix, and again, the desired service levels. And so, as you can see here, this is what we based the rates on. So you can see here the advanced life support base rate. The charge would be $2,161.72. There is a mileage rate approximately $60 per mile from the point of response or the point of pickup to the hospital destination. And again, for any oxygen administration in that transport, that's charged at $155. And so just to give you a breakdown of where that puts the City of Oxnard's transport rates relative to other areas. So the City of Chula Vista, they have a base rate of $2,800. You can see there they've got a significantly higher average mileage, slightly lower oxygen, and then they also have a surcharge for calls at night. You can see where the County of Ventura's current rates are just a little above where the City of Oxnard is. And so the new Oxnard ambulance rate are projected to produce cost savings of approximately $91.28 per transport. And so, as you saw in a previous slide, the Oxnard rate structure includes an annual medical consumer price index or CPI increase of 5.3%. The current medical CPI is just over 6%. And so the other thing, our rates do include or accounts for a compassionate billing policy, and that compassionate care billing policy we are putting the finishing touches to that right now. This cost recovery does not include or rely on any kind of supplemental government reimbursements, as they would be one-off reimbursements. And so, but that is something that we would look to utilize once we have our ambulance program set up. So you can see here the net revenues available for EMS reinvestment over the next 5 years. We'll have our projections are that we'll have significant cost recoveries, again, to be able to provide a high level of service to our residents, and again, without using taxpayer dollars or general fund dollars. The system will be entirely self-sustained through user-generated revenues. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any and all questions that the committee or council might have. Thank you so much for your time today.